welcome to the show. JL Cauvin, the best Trump
Hey.
impersonator in the world. Hello, sir. Hi.
Hey, good to be
Hi.
here. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you. Good for you to be here. There is a lot of other news. People don't may not know this, but you're an actual attorney and you've been following this beyond impersonating or somehow. I feel like you're channeling. I feel like
hmm
you're like possessed by Trump, which can't feel good.
No, it's like it's sort of horror movie level now. We just turn it on and it's like in there. So yeah, it's I thought it would be
Ah,
gone by now. I thought it would
no.
have been gone 3 years ago.
Here's what's great. No matter when he goes to jail, it's like Rich Little. It's like
Yeah.
Rich, like you're like Rich Little. Trump's never going away. He is worse than Jason and Freddy Krueger. Like Freddy Krueger
Yeah.
actually has a good sense of humor. Freddy Krueger's my jam. He's like Michael Myers. It's like
Yeah.
he's
Orange, big
elite.
orange hair, very
Yes,
scary, everything.
yes, yes. So for you watching this play out, and I wanted to bring you in seriously because Jacob Chansley, the Arizona man
QAnon
that was wearing, yes, the QAnon, what they call him, QAnon shaman,
shaman.
who couldn't go. He couldn't go. His mother said his dietary restrictions will make it impossible for him to go to jail because he needs a special diet.
Right.
And he was very upset. He is now running. He just put his paperwork in to run for Congress in
Sure. Doesn't it
Arizona.
seem like they're really remorseful about what they did?
Make this make sense, JL. Like the man stormed the Capitol, got convicted, served 27 months before being transferred to a halfway house in March in Phoenix. He now submitted his paperwork to run for Congress in Arizona. He did say at his sentencing that he regretted, he had remorse there, and he said his actions were indefensible. I was wrong for entering the Capitol. I have no excuse whatsoever. However, this is what does it say about America?
America is in deep trouble. And what Trump has done is, I think this is still kind of Trump's influence. He has unleashed this kind of no shame whatsoever culture upon like which plenty of people had, but now it's like he's given half the country just free reign to just never self-reflect. Like to me, it reminds me also of the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff, where wherever you believed, I, of course, thought he was a murderer. But let's say his lawyers make a good case and you think that's not the case. A 17-year-old who kills two people is going to have some serious, in normal circumstances, some serious trauma, whether he was justified or not. That's not a normal thing, taking two lives at 17 years old. But where is he? At parties at Mar-a-Lago, appearing on podcasts with Donald J. Trump Jr. There is like this lack of reflection and this kind of id only kind of thing that Trump unleashed in people. Because to bring back a Marion Barry joke from Chris Rock, you can't tell, you say, if you sell crack, you can't be anything. I could be mayor. That like, and now Trump has elevated to, if you don't have any shame and you don't have any ethics and you don't have any morals and you treat people terribly, you can't be anything. I could be president. Like that, it's like an enhanced version of that joke in real life. So the QAnon shaman walks around and says, well, what am I going to do with my life? Well, how do I capitalize on my fame? I don't have to reflect on this. I was in jail. I did my time. Now let me be a congressman. It's insane. It's flat
No,
out insane.
but yet we're living through the insanity. And Lauren Boebert is in Congress, and Marjorie Hoof-Told Taylor
Oof.
Greene is in Congress. Jim Jordan is in Congress. Matt Gaetz is in Congress. So I mean, we can make fun of this, but he absolutely could be elected in these United States of America. It is so sickening that we do live in a country so bereft of any kind of moral due north. Before you came on, I was talking about a lady on the airplane, a Grammy nominated gospel singer who wouldn't sit down until the flight attendant basically threatened to throw her off the plane if she didn't, because she wanted to sing her latest song that she didn't know the words to by heart. So she's looking at her phone. That to me, first of all, I'm gonna say this as somebody that grew up in an era where I feel like entertainers, with a few exceptions, actually had talent and knew their songs. And she's
Yes.
looking at like, this your song? Why don't you have it memorized, ma'am? If you want to say.
True.
But even that, there's like a level of decorum. Someone said, "Don't blame it on lack of parenting," and they know better. I was like, "Do they though?" I feel like there's no consequences, JL. There's like no consequences.
No, we are, and I think we are, the bill is coming due on society for dozens of sort of failures. And it's like it's all crashing down now, whether it's Trump and our corroded politics, or our a generation of parents who want to be cool parents and didn't like the discipline and want to be. I mean, the cell phone itself. I'm thinking, when you said the story about the gospel singer just now, in my mind, I'm thinking there is a seemingly harmless strain of society. Forget the Trump strain, which is malevolent, but there's a seemingly harmless strain where everything's content. And can you do something to get seen or to get noticed and without any repercussions? Like, I'm somebody who, I have a friend on a show. He said, oh, to promote our show, what if you went to like this awards show or this thing dressed as Trump and interviewed people? And in my head, I was like, I agree with you that would work. I don't want to do it. like I was like, you are correct. This would go viral probably. Like, our chances would be very high. I don't want to do it because I'm old school enough where I'm like, I'm a 44-year-old man now. I'm not some young kid. Going viral and my own comfort and dignity, the comfort dignity wins out. And I think for a lot of people in society now, whether it's the boost, the hormonal boost from going viral or from feeling like a star, even for a few minutes, is like overcoming our general sense of decorum, of shame, and just kind of manners, where it's like, and I'm sorry for rambling, but another thing, even smaller, is like when I'm on a Metro North train to visit my mom, I will see lots of people putting their feet up on seats, not either in shoes, without what, but even in the winter when it's like covered in salt and snow, you're like ruining a seat. And the thing people always seem to have is like, well, I'm not hurting anybody. And I go, when we get to a place where the only thing that should make you act right is if you're hurting somebody, we are already failing. There is just what about courtesy? Courtesy isn't a choice between hurting someone and not. It's about dignity and respect for your fellow man and woman, and just conducting yourself in a way where, hey, life is just a little more pleasant. And we're all contributing to a community and a society. Instead, now it's just like, well, if I'm not hurting anybody, why can't I sit with my, naked on this train eating a sandwich? I'm not hurting anybody. And so I feel like and from top down leadership, because I always think we haven't seen the effects yet of what 8 years of an Obama presidency might have meant to like 6 to 16-year-olds who are now college age and getting older. But we are seeing, I think, very quickly the effects of having an amoral monster in the White House. And to make it slightly personal, I can just say, without getting into specifics, I have a relative who plays competitive soccer, and he's coming of age in this era. And I didn't hear the amount of racial slurs and racist comments in my entire youth that I've gotten just from his blue state soccer career. And I don't think it's a coincidence that he has come of maturity in the age of Trump, because Biden may be president and you don't want to give credit to the monster, but just like Hannibal Lecter is what made Silence of the Lambs go. He was in the movie for 15 minutes, but it's his movie. We're in Trump's era. He is the monster that, good or bad, is making this era go. He is defining the culture, and it's terrifying because we need more help. We don't know how to use responsibly cell phones and the internet, and we're getting worse as a society. We've never needed responsible moral leadership more than now. With more people becoming secular, I'm a church-going guy, but with more people becoming secular, our secular leaders need to accept some of the moral responsibility, not abdicate it and become immoral leaders. And I'm done. There's my pitch for Congress 2024.
And I think you should run. You should run. You should run as Trump. You'll get elected. Like how Al Green got into Congress because people didn't know that he wasn't. Thought he was Al Green. I'm so in love with you.
Well, did you ever see The Distinguished Gentleman with Eddie Murphy?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. His name was Thomas Jefferson Johnson, and he just cut off, like he just made his name the same as the guy who died.
You could JL in parentheses Donald Trump Cauvin. You would win. You would win. And it's so sad because we are so ignorant. 8668. Not us. Not y'all.
Right.
I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about
And
y'all.
in 2016, I remember when I was complaining about Trump, before he won, I remember, or early, maybe it was a year into his presidency. I remember a comic on Facebook would say, "Hey, we can disagree. Like, people can think Trump stinks, or whatever, but like, would any of us really be doing a better job? Like, and I commented, I was like, I would. And that's not me saying I would do a good job. If the question is, could I be better at president than Donald Trump? The answer is yes. The answer is yes.
I actually know a couple of schnauzers that would do a better job too.
Yeah.
They can't speak. 866. Shout out to Gizmo McCaskill.